Buckle up folks, as this deck has flown me up the ladder today, going 11 wins to 1 loss, but mainly is so much fun I just can't stop playing it. Hey everyone, Hex here, and this is the deck that I have the most fun with on the ladder. Firstly, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like and subscribe below to not miss out on future decks. I really appreciate all the support this channel gets. But onto this deck and our triple threat Kona deck with 3 strategies to win. So let's start with strategy 1. Let's start with Kona. Kona is a 4/3/4 drop that says at the beginning of your second main phase, if Kona is tapped, you may put a permanent from your hand onto the battlefield. This card is too good to be true for all those players that like to cheat out big stuff. But I don't really want to have to attack with Kona to tap it, so we have other options. Edge of Eternities has given us spacecraft and planets that need tapped creatures. I have Fell Gravship, a 3-drop, 3/2 for 8 counters, but when this enters, mill 3 cards and return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. We are using this ability mainly to tap, but it does help our plan B in the deck. Other cards include our lands, Susur Void Altar and Evendo Wake in Heaven. Both tap Kona easily, and they are lands as well. Lastly, we have Lumbering Worldwagon, which can find you lands and is crewed nicely by a power 4 creature, just like Kona. So what creatures are we looking to cheat out? Well, I have Vaultborn Tyrants, 6/6 trampling dinosaurs that draw you lots of cards and gain you life when other big creatures enter. We have Valgavoth. Now if you haven't encountered this one yet, it's basically a 9/9 flying lifelinker with ward, sacrifice 3 permanents. It's a monster because it also says whenever a card you don't control enters the graveyard, exile it underneath Valgavoth and you can cast it later for free but paying life equal to its mana value instead. I have summoned Bahamut to help close out games. It destroys things, draws cards and basically wins you the game. Lastly, I'm playing one of Ghalta. This 12/12 can put any number of creatures from your hand onto the battlefield when it enters, and at the end of the day it's a 12/12 trampler. So that's our plan A, and what about plan B? Well, that's all about reanimating. We have 4 Zombifies to help bring stuff back. We're going to discard creatures from our Bitter Triumphs, and Gravship from earlier, Overlord of the Balemurk, and we're also playing a Cynical Loner. When this 2-drop 3/1 is tapped at the beginning of your second main phase, you can tutor any creature from your deck and put it in your graveyard, ready to be reanimated. Lastly, plan C, our good friend Smuggler's Surprise. It lets you put 2 creatures from your hand onto the battlefield at instant speed for the low cost of 6 mana. Other cards include Llanowar Elves and Archdruid's Charm to primarily tutor any creature in your deck, 24 lands, and that is the deck. So I've got some alternatives for you if that's your jam. Other creatures could include Absolute Virtue, Ureni, or Overlord of the Hauntwoods. I probably would try Ureni, but unfortunately I've run out of mythic wildcards. You could even try the 20 damage combo of Calamity and Vein Rippers. This will do 20 damage in 1 turn. So this deck has rumped me through the ladder today, but it is just so much fun to play. I hope it's fun for you too. Triple threats mean triple the fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoy some of the games that I played today. Alright, on the play. Hand looks pretty decent. We have a Kona, we have a Vaultborn Tyrant. We have ways to tap it with our Worldwagon and our Gravship. We have 3 lands. Yeah, not a bad hand. Could do with drawing something for a lower mana value soon. The Bitter Triumph or maybe an Elf. Elf would be great. Elf means that we can Kona turn 3. Opponent names Angel with their Cavern of Souls. Okay. Slow start for us, but it looks like a slowish start for them. And they make a 2/2 knight. Okay. Alright, well we'll Worldwagon here. Ramp. I do like the Worldwagon. It works quite nicely in the deck as it crews for 4. And Kona is a 4 power creature. With Ajani's Pridemate. Okay. So possibly a Lifegain deck, although they have played the Knight, which suggests it's not. And also blue mana, and they named Angel, so we'll see. Let's drop the Elf. Let's drop Kona. Let's tap it with our Worldwagon. Let's get a Tyrant onto the battlefield. Could attack here. They would lose both creatures if they wanted to kill our creature. Alright, let's see what they can do with a Tyrant. Smuggler's Surprise as well in our hand. That's our plan C in the deck. Okay, suddenly we've got quite a large board. The Pride Mate is going to get a little bit big because I've got no way of dealing with it right now. Opponent with a Banishing Light. Okay. Probably... Well, they've gone for the Tyrant. Fair enough. They could have gone for Kona. Luckily, we do have another Tyrant in our hand. And we're almost at Smuggler's land, to be honest. Let's play the Gravship first, see what we can find. Okay, no creatures, fair enough. So we can just station our Gravship with our Kona here. Drop our Tyrant. So I've got the Worldwagon on defense if I need it. Another Tyrant on the battlefield though for the opponent to have to deal with. Virtue of Loyalty. Sure, they're going to start making a massive board here. Could do with drawing some gas. Zombify, okay. Nothing in our graveyard just yet. We could always Smuggler Surprise here. We do have 8 mana. It would be quite cheeky if we managed to find a creature. But I'm all about taking risks, so I think we can do that. Might as well get in there with our Gravship here. So 3/2 flyer. We're up to 27 life. Alright. So I am going to surprise Smugglers. Now we don't have anything in our hand. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm going to go for it. Because if we do draw any creatures, Kona can deal with that. Opponent with Giada. And Erif Gainsborough. Okay, so I'm still not sure exactly what we're playing against, whether it's Lifegain or Angels. So this Smugglers could be nothing. But it could be something. Oh, a Valgavoth, sure. It's so cheeky. Alright, and a Charm as well, so that's going to be fantastic for next turn with Kona. But the opponent's board is getting quite large with the Virtue. Let's find ourselves a Summon Bahamut, and at least we can deal with the Virtue here, play our own Virtue. Or we could take the Banishing Light. Either works quite nicely. Let's hit them in the air though. Opponent decides to trade with the Gravship, fair enough. Okay, not too bad here. We can play our own Virtue here. We've got so much life. And yeah, not sure how the opponent's going to get out of this one. We're just taking their creatures here. Yeah, they scoop it up. They were pretty dead all along, especially with our summon. Alright, on the draw. Seems fine. We've got a bit of ramp here with the Elf and the Worldwagon. Have one of our big creatures in our hand in case we get a Kona. So we got Blooming Marsh into turn 1 Elf. Another big creature in the Tyrant here. One that we can cast relatively easy with the amount of ramp we have in the deck. Opponent with a Cruel Claws Heist. Okay, so they're going to look in my hand here and they're going to get rid of a card. I wonder what they decide to do. It's going to be exiled, so probably one of my big creatures. Yeah, they've gone for the Tyrant. That's probably what I would have gone for. Okay, Worldwagon to the battlefield. Grab ourselves a land. Should have played the starting town then. I didn't know I just drew that. Opponent with their Pilfer here. So it looks like we're up against discard. Okay, well, so be it. Let's drop another Worldwagon. We could do with a Loner or a Kona so we can start attacking with these vehicles. We can always find one with our charm, actually. We don't have any big creatures in our hand, so... Okay, they're gonna... Well, we'll just exile the Triumph. I already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Forest. Gonna go Charm. Gonna find ourselves a Kona. And drop a Kona. Tap the Kona. No creatures in our hand though. We can put the land into the battlefield, but most importantly we can start doing some damage to our opponent. Down to 13. Alright, well we have no cards left if they want to start trying to discard our hand. We do have a board presence though, which is nice. They're hovering over my vehicles here. Wow, there's a Valgavoth, and you know what? We can cast it. Yeah, why not? We've been ramping so hard, we just hard cast a Valgavoth here. In fact, we've probably got lethal here. Just crewing up our creatures with our creatures, or crewing up our vehicles with our creatures here. So Valgavoth being used as a crewing tactic. Oh, they had a Arc Enemy's Charm to exile my creature, okay. So what are we playing against? Just mono black, discard, removal. We've managed to sneak a lot of value onto the battlefield though. And next turn we get to play the Arch Enemy's Charm if we need to, but there's nothing really to bring back, nothing really to target. We'll just see how the turn goes. They have to deal with our board. They could play a board wipe. Fingers crossed they don't have one. Nope, they do not, and they scoop it up. Alright, on the play, with a very medium hand. Don't like the land, but we do have a reanimator plan with the Bitter Triumph. Discarding the Tyrant, zombifying it back out. Opponent with Authority of the Consoles, okay. So we find a Llanowar Elf, which we will absolutely slam. Interesting with Authority is that it does bring out our creatures tapped, meaning that Kona does come out tapped. So I do like the Kona plan here. Youthful Valkyrie for our opponent. And there's a Charm. No land drop, unfortunately. This isn't instant. Can find a land or a creature. We're so close. We're one land off being able to Kona with the Charm and then start popping down some massive creatures. I think I'm going to take the risk. We just need a land drop. But we're under no real pressure at the moment. So we could Bitter Triumph here to put the Tyrant in the graveyard. Charm for a land. But you know what? I'm going to Charm for Kona. We just need one untapped land. We do have Bitter Triumph for next turn to keep us alive. Well, there's an untapped land. Oh, Starting Town does come out tapped. This is our turn 4. Fair enough. So we do have the Bitter Triumph to keep us alive. Next turn, Kona is going to come in tapped. We'll be able to drop a Vaultborn Tyrant. Exemplar of Life. Alright, well, let's just discard our Overlord or the Tyrant. Let's get rid of the Overlord. I want to bring Tyrant out with Kona next turn. And yeah, we're going to take 5 damage here. But I still think we're going to be able to catch up with our Tyrant here. It's an untapped land. Fair enough. Alright, Kona. Don't need to worry about tapping it. Authority's going to do that for us. Second main, drop a Tyrant. Gain some life. Yeah, this isn't looking too bad. If the Tyrant dies, at least we have Zombify. But we can always Zombify our Overlord to the battlefield if we want to. And with a Split Up deals with the board here. We do get a token copy of our Vaultborn. Yeah, taking a bit of damage here from these angels, down to 8. There's a charm. Well, Zombify is in our hand for a reason. Let's bring back Kona. Kona can bring back the Vaultborn Tyrant, gain some more life. This is how our deck works. I love having the Zombify plan as well. Back up to 17. Drop a land and say go. So really I'd love Kona to survive here. If it doesn't, fair enough, we can Archdruid's Charm to get another one. But we haven't got any creatures in our opening or in our hand at the moment. Angel of Finality. Sure, it's going to exile our graveyard. Okay, it is what it is. So the Zombify plan is out the window at the moment. Down to 9. Oh, there's a Ghalta. Alright, let's charm for something a little bit juicy. Bit of gas. Go down to 6. Let's play Valgavoth here. Actually, let's play the Bahamut. We can destroy their Angel of Finality with our summon here. Tap in our Kona. So Fell Gravship is for the Reanimator plan, but don't have a Reanimator plan at the moment. When it's taken it all the way down to 13, second main Kona triggers. Let's bring back Ghalta. Ghalta's going to bring out our summon. We can destroy one of their creatures. Let's get rid of the Angel of Finality, I think. Actually, let's get rid of the Youthful Valkyrie. It's the biggest creature at the moment that the opponent has. There we go. Looking better for us now. Stabilised. Both our life totals are practically the same, but we have a massive board here. I am worried about a board wipe. They've already done one, and they just scoop it up. They can't deal with our army of creatures. Alright, on the play. Pretty nice hand. We have an elf and a turn 2 Worldwagon. If our elf survives, that is. Just need some bigger creatures in our hand. Maybe we could discard them with the Triumph or use the Loner to put one into our graveyard. Fingers crossed this elf survives. I'd love to get a Worldwagon down turn 2. And it's a Plains for our opponent. Alright, Worldwagon, it's your turn to ramp us here. And we'll grab a swamp. Say go. Opponent with a swamp for themselves. And Servondum, Sunstar Exemplar. Okay, not a problem at all. Our hand is pretty weak. We'll get this Loner down. We could crew up the Worldwagon here and attack. But I want to play the other Worldwagon instead. Get some extra... Yeah, get some extra gas onto the board. So, oh, no attacks. And we'll drop the Worldwagon here. Second main. Keep ramping away. The good thing with this deck is you can actually hardcast some of your bigger spells if you get the ramp in early. So we're already on 5 lands. We do have an elf in our hand. Our opponent with a sheltered. They've gone for the Loner. Okay. And they get in there. And there's a Kona, which is nice. I think what we want to do here is destroy Servondum. Play the ward. Then we get our Loner back. And we can just Worldwagon. Attack our opponent and get another land onto the battlefield. Get Valgavoth into the graveyard too. Alright, so a pretty decent start. Could do with a Zombify here. Or a creature for Kona. Opponent is Bitter Triumph in our Loner, okay. They tried to shelter it. Now they've just destroyed it. And Momentum Breaker is going to destroy... Let's get rid of one of our World Wagons. I want the Elf. Wow. There's the Tyrant. See, we could have hard casted the Tyrant there, but we can just use Kona to crew up our World Wagon, attack the opponent for 8, and then drop a Tyrant second main. Very good turn for us then. And there's an Overlord as well. Might as well just... opponent scoops it up when the writing is on the wall. Alright, on the draw. And this hand would be nice if we had some early plays, but gonna mulligan that one. This hand, not so good as well, but I'm not gonna mulligan anymore. Opponent with a Hinterland, Sanctify. Okay, another Lifegain deck. This Lifegain deck is getting extremely popular, I've noticed, on the best of one ladder. Here comes a Brightblade Stoat. Yeah, no early plays for us. We might be in a bit of trouble early doors. We'll drop a Susur, Secundi, Vault Altar. Nice little way to tap our non-existent Kona. Maybe we could have mulliganed again, but who knows. Opponent with a Cleric, Starscape Cleric. Yep, we are taking quite a lot of damage here. Down to 13. Okay. Play the Gravship. And we mill... Well, we'll grab the Kona. That might actually be able to save us with the Tyrant next turn. Okay, there's a bat for our opponent, which is annoying for us because they're going to probably take our Kona. They go for the Smugglers. Okay. They must have a way to be able to deal with this Tyrant then. We go down to 6 and yeah. Just going to play Kona here. Tap it with our Gravship, or station our Gravship and tap our Kona. Drop a Tyrant, gain a little bit of life here. Back up to 9. Let's see if the opponent can win the game here. Maybe a Sheltered would be a problem for us. There it is. They always have it. That or just straight up get lost. But we are going to go down to 1. And I think we're going to die. Yeah, there we go. The Cleric kills us. There was no hope for us in that game, to be honest. Alright, on the play. Ooh, we have a Smuggler's surprise here. Land-wise, it's not that great. In fact, that hand was terrible. Okay, this hand is better. We have an Elf. We have a Loner. We have our Zombify. Question is, what do we bottom here? I think it might be the removal spell. We are going to need to find a way to tap this Loner if possible. We could always attack with it. Opponent with the Plains. And Halaya, Guided by Light. Sure. There's a Kona, okay. Well, potentially we could attack with the Loner next turn. We have plenty of ways to tap our creatures here, so... Let's see what's going on here. Opponent with a Forest. What have you got, opponent? They're having a good think about this one. And it's Sunstar Chaplain. I wonder if they block my Loner. Do we just go for this? I think we could, because Kona and the Charm could be our plan B. Let's just attack with this Loner. Let's see if they know what's going on here. They really need to block this. Which they don't. Okay, well, we get to put any card from our deck in our graveyard now. Let's go for a Valgavoth. Let's play Zombify. Let's bring this to the battlefield. So they can't touch this unless they have 3 non-land permanents or a board wipe. This could take over the game quite quickly. They should have absolutely blocked that Loner. We have the Kona, Charm combo in our hand as well. Yeah, they scoop it up. There's nothing they can do with our Valgavoth. Alright, on the draw. Not the worst hand in the world. An Elf, Zombify, Tyrant. Certainly keep this one. Yeah, there we go. Turn 1 Elf. So we're going to need to find a way to discard one of these Tyrants, or both of these Tyrants. Got the Loner, the Gravship, can possibly mill. We have our Overlord can mill. But we want to be discarding if possible. Bitter Triumph is the best way. Opponent with Linden, okay, so another Lifegain deck. Shame there's nothing in our graveyard right now. Guess we just start stationing. We're not going to block with this creature. Can't attack with it. And they get in there with Linden, and they're going to gain a life here. There's our Ghalta. Okay, if we can get Ghalta down, we can play 2 Tyrants. Yeah, I mean, there is a possibility if we can get a couple of creatures in the battlefield that our Evendo can tap for a lot of mana. Opponent on 22 now. Come on, deck, what you got? There's a bit of Triumph, okay. It's 4 in the deck, so trust your deck always. I guess we can just do it right now. Just discard our Ghalta. Zombify our Ghalta. Drop 2 Tyrants. Surely this is GG's. They might have a split up in their hand, which is slightly annoying, but we do have a Zombify in our hand. Drawing several cards here. Might as well station up. So now we have lots of mana here with our Evendo. Taps for a forest for each creature we control. So we might even be able to start hardcasting any of our big creatures that we have. They've had to GG, and they scoop it out. Just want to thank you for watching. Please give the video a like and subscribe below. Bye.